What's going on, guys? Mike, aka Crypto Jewels. I'm going to do a DMTR Dimitra video update here real quick. So guys, first and foremost, I'm not a financial advisor. I do this for entertainment and educational purposes only. So do not blindly follow anything I say or do. All right, guys. So normally I don't get into the fundamentals of these coins and charts, frankly, because I really typically don't care, I guess. I say that kind of loosely. I mean, I do care. Fundamentally for a swing trade that I'm going into to make sure that the fundamentals and the technicals align together. So on DMTR, I really actually like the fundamentals of the coin. I think it's a really cool project. I think it's a legit project, not a scam. I think they're really actually working on solving a real world problem with farmers. So, just to kind of do a quick update on the fundamentals here at the very beginning of this, and then we'll dive into the technicals. Crypto Reviewing on Twitter, which you can see here at Crypto Reviewing. He has got a very good, solid fundamental base on his tweets and his analysis. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to his price projections because I'm a TA guy and my technicals I feel like are pretty solid, and I trust my TA more than really I trust anybody else's, as any trader should. So not to say anything negative about his price potential here. I'll get into obviously my price potential, but his fundamentals are spot on with all of his different FA that he does and analysis that he does across all of the different cryptocurrencies that he reviews. So, just to kind of look at a high overview of, what DMTR is from a fundamental standpoint. It is Dimitra, just to read straight off here, Dimitra provides global access of blockchain technology to farmers, enabling them to increase yield, reduce costs, and mitigate risks. And they do this all with a AI technology. So, that coupled with the them being a legitimate business working on a real world problem and, creating a solution to that real world problem, coupled with the fact that they are AI, which happens to be a very hot narrative at the moment, projects that this thing will explode, in my opinion, this next cycle. So coin info here, this is, at the time that he did this, it was at 7 cents, market cap 26 million, supply, current supply 379 million, max supply 1 billion. He rated the project a 10 out of 10 based on the partnerships and, supported countries and a few other fundamental things that he had mentioned. It says the roadmap's a 9 out of 10. It's got a good global adoption plan, ecosystem partners. The team, he gave a 10 out of 10. Socially, he gave a 5 out of 10, which actually I noticed that DMTR has probably realized that they have a kind of a disconnect there on the marketing side, and they are actually looking for a crypto marketing specialist currently to help with gaining more exposure. So this here is actually probably going to start ticking upwards, and more people will probably be, in the loop as to what DMTR is and what it's, working on and building. Tokenomics, he gave it an 8 out of 10 with a 1 billion max supply, 379 circulating, and a token burn mechanism, which is obviously good. And then partnerships gave it a 9 out of 10. So ultimately, he gave it 8.5 out of 10. And, you guys can go check Crypto Reviewing out on his Twitter. And he's got a detailed breakdown of all the different things here that he gets into when he talks about DMTR. All right, so enough with the fundamentals. Let's look at the technicals, since this is what I particularly specialize in and what I enjoy the most. So as of right now, the last video I did on this thing, I was talking about this potentially being, a 1 wave, and then we had a ABC, and this being a 1, 2, 3, and then I was expecting a 4 wave and then a 5th wave up. and then a retrace and then to continue on. Clearly that didn't happen. We broke below what I thought was a 1, 2, 3. We broke below that, which invalidated that count, which then puts this at a running flat, expanded flat, or a regular flat. As of right now, this has hit the 1, 2, 3, 6, which technically speaking is a regular flat. I mean, as the price is not broken below this low here for our A, and it is above it, it's really kind of a running flat. But either way, this is currently a flat structure. And as long as we do not break back below this low here at 029, then we should be ready to move upwards to our next 3-wave target, which, let me see, I don't know if I've got, let's see if I've got this accurate or not. Yeah. So if we do not break back below, and I'm going to get into the details on the weeds here in just a second of this, but if we don't break below this and we bottom here, our next target from here is about 335, which is a nice, juicy 7,200% gain from there, and then a potential 4-wave, and then a 5th wave all the way up to 1150 or so is ultimately where I think this thing can go this cycle, which would be a 22,000% gain from where we are currently. So, my main, I don't want to say my main target, but at the end of this cycle, I believe we'll see 1150. That's just my opinion. I think we'll definitely see 335, but we do have this pivot point that we'll have to deal with as we get to that point to kind of see how price reacts, which is anywhere from 50 cents to $1. But I just, I think we'll explode past that. I'm sure there'll be some turbulence in this area, but I don't think this will be the top. I think that the $11 range will roughly be the top, based on the tokenomics and based on the technicals and a few other things that have, that I'm looking at, that it's just my personal bias. And, I do like the project, like I said, fundamentally. So I do think there's a lot of upside. All right, so if we do break back below this low here, then my guess is we will find the bottom end of this range here around 022-ish or so. My personal bias is that does not happen. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. That's just my personal bias, which means absolutely nothing when you're reviewing and talking about technicals. As long as it's technically sound, that's really all that matters. And one of the clues that I'm kind of looking at that has got me thinking that, this was the bottom is the volume profile here, plus our RSI has, found potentially a bottom at the, the 50 zone here, which would be, a bullish signal. That coupled with this break of volume on this 3-day candle here is leading me to believe that we do have the bottom end. Let's hop into the details just a little bit. Let me get rid of these. But again, what we have on the micro here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe we put in a 1-wave and then an A, B, and then what looks to be like a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave structure down with a very large, nice, juicy breakout of volume here, as you can see. And then a possible, I'm not entirely confident in this exact count yet. I need price to play out a little bit. But if this is a 1-wave and we're working on a flat again, then what we could be looking at here, get our fib extension tool. This currently would be another running flat if we have bottomed here. As you can see in my premium Discord, I chart this every single day, and this is kind of the path that I have projected for it based on the micro count, which like I just told my Discord just recently, I just went through all of my higher time frame macro charts and a lot of the charts that we are charting, technically speaking, have gone deep enough to be, nice two-wave structures. Even though on the micro they might be calling for another leg lower, the macro, the higher time frame trumps the lower time frame. So, even though the micro is calling for a lower leg, does not mean that you have to get it. A lot of Elliott wave traders actually do themselves a disservice, because you can always find a count for lower. Always, you can always find a count for higher too. That's what Elliott wave does, and that's the purpose of Elliott wave, and that's why I like it so much, is because it allows you to see both sides of the coin. But as a trader, you have to have the ability, for me, as a swing trade for these, I'm looking for, DCA into these things, which I've been DCAing into this all the way down, and I'm ready for it, obviously, to explode. And if not, I'll look to buy more down here at 022. But anyways, like I said, this thing could end up finding itself lower, but it certainly could be ready to go as well at any time, with an ABC, or it could be a WXY if this structure is a WXY. But, either way, even if we do get lower, I think ultimately this low will hold. If we throw a fib retracement on this guy, I mean, really, we're looking for, 035 to hold. If it breaks below 0327, then that is a red flag and a sign that, we might be ready to break this low here, which would then take our higher degree two wave, like I said earlier, on the higher time frame down to, 022-ish or so. But as of right now, this thing is really ready for the most part to, to bottom at any time. We just kind of got to see what Bitcoin does and what the crypto market in general does. But, I'm ready for it to go. And I ultimately think DMTR on the macro is going to be a very, very, very successful swing trade. And I am ready for this guy to break out. So hope you guys like the video. See y'all later.